Well, welcome everyone back here on campus. Fall 2025 is here, and we are ready to get set to go on the soccer field. And with us today, head coach Chuy Miramontes of the Vanguard soccer program, a fourth place finish last year. Fortunately, because we were provisional members of PacWest and the NCAA, didn't make the first ever PacWest tournament. Who cares? This year, it's all up for grabs. Now as full NCAA members, you're competing for playoffs. Coach, how are you doing today?
Doing well. It's been a long time coming. You know, a lot of hard work over the summer. It seems like the guys have put the work in, and the coaching staff and myself have done some good things, and we're excited to get rolling.
How are you feeling after the final game last year, and knowing that if it had been for real, it was for real, but if it had been for real, you would have been going to the Great Park for a conference tournament?
You know, obviously you're a little bit disappointed, in the moment, but at the same time, I thought we competed at a very high level, and I think we were built for the playoffs last year, and I think we would have had a good run. I think that we're there as well this year. So we'll see what God has in store for us this year and with our journey. But yeah, so I think we're pretty ready to go. So
you lost. For me at least, it's a turning of an era. This is my fifth school year. So all the guys that were freshmen as I was coming in, that held on for next year, all those guys now graduated. So for me, it's almost a real flip the page. Obviously, there's carryovers because that's how college works. But a lot of the veteran leadership from the NAIA era is now out the door. So how does that change the team dynamic going into this year?
A little different, but I think the players that that I've been bringing in have been ready for the challenge. We're definitely going to be missing some of those guys, those key players. But at the same time, I feel that we're definitely a lot deeper. Things like that. So, but as far as leadership goes, this is truly my first freshman class that I came with. As I took over as the head coach. So I think what I've been bringing in and what our staff has been looking for has really been kind of flourishing within the last couple of years. Not just on but off the field as well.
What have you brought this year in terms of freshmen?
We brought in some very good freshmen. I feel guys that are playing at a high level. A few MLS Next guys, a few ECNL guys. Primarily. One ECNL all-conference player, Luke Parker. I think he's at a very high level. I think Brian Ortiz. He's another MLS Next player that's at a very high level. I think those guys got a huge future here. So I'm excited to see what they can do.
Who have we got returning? Obviously, up top, we'll start there. A big return in a healthy Robert Ronco, but who else is coming back to the blue and gold this year?
I mean, I think you can pick your poison with a lot of them. We're looking at our leading scorer last year with Nico Ochoa. I think Adon Alvarado is one of the top tens in the conference. But then you look at a veteran back line with a Slater Hammer, a Ben Sieber. And then some of these now sophomores that have really anchored our back line, which we were one of the top teams in the conference in goals against. And 3 of the 4 guys are coming back, so we're super excited about those guys.
And then we've got a bit of a spread in the midfield. How's that shaping up?
Midfield's going to be tough. I mean, I think that's where most of our depth is. With our 6, our 8, and our 10. We have a lot of guys that we have in there. So it'll be good. And I think it helps with healthy competition. So I think us having the depth there is where last year we had some key injuries at some key moments right in the middle of the PacWest season, so it really hurt us a little bit. But I think this year with the depth that we have, we're not gonna miss a beat at any moment in the season.
Backlining all of that is the returning PacWest goalie of the year. Aiden Hay out of CBU last year was very good as the Vanguard starter. Talk about him for a little bit, and then who else? You got a few guys to show up for behind him in case he needs a spell.
Yeah, I think Aiden's Aiden. He's top goalkeeper in the conference, and his maturity and his leadership show on and off the field. He's just a great character guy. he puts in the work, but we're looking for him to possibly be, back-to-back goalkeeper of the year. I mean, that's the goal for him, which he's hungry to do. But at the same time, it's Kai and Ian to back him up and be ready to jump in if things can happen at any moment. So Kai coming in from Colorado Christian is a big one, and Ian obviously played at a high ECNL level as well. So we're excited to have both of those guys.
Yeah, so goalie will be strong throughout the field. You mentioned Ian. Who else you got on the transfer front? Got two of the Colorado Christian guys.
Correct. I think Shane Donnelly is huge for us. He's one of the other guys that sits in the middle of the park. But I think backline wise, we picked up Leo Villacorta out of Adams State, and we also picked up Brian Silva, who I think is going to step in there, and he's another grad student who I think is going to step in there and do very, very well for us.
What was it like playing PacWest soccer last year? You've been around here a lot. You've seen plenty of GSAC schools. A couple of them are now in this conference, so it's not the biggest of departures. But was there any big feeling of difference, or did it just feel a little more intense?
I just feel, I mean, that was the big thing, was the fact that there was no days off, there was no minutes off. There was no one where you were going to step in there and say, hey, you know what, like, we can play some other players, and in every game is just a grind. I mean, everywhere from 1 to now 11 or 12 can beat each other on any given day. So it really makes it for a good battle throughout all this year 10 games. So it'll be interesting to kind of see where we end up, or see where we even end up in the preseason polls. In the PacWest, but I feel the players that we have returning and the players that we have coming in, I think we're going to be good as long as we can put it together.
Talk a little bit about the schedule then. You've basically are playing two conference schedules, jokingly say that, as you get the California Collegiate Conference, all the state schools. What's there? Is it CCA?
No, it's a CCA, yeah. So,
CCA, there we go. Yeah, you're starting up with all of them, including a trip up to the Monterey Bay area before coming back and starting at home. You've got UC Merced slid in there, but they're joining that conference at some point. So it's all of them, and then we get into PacWest play. So let's talk about the non-conference slate first.
Listen, the CCA is one of the top conferences in all D2. I mean, they're good. I mean, you could talk about the Cal State LAs and the Dominguez, and they're always a top 25 team. So we were fortunate to put Pomona in there as well. I think they came out top 25 team. So our preseason is not easy. So we open up with Dominguez, and then we got San Bernardino coming in. And all those teams are very, very good. And like I said, it's going to be no time off, and trying to stay healthy but I think for us, for the depth chart is big for us. But I think we got to go up north, and that's going to be a tough trip with Monterey Bay and East Bay. So we'll see where we kind of slide in with some of these teams. We're trying to really elevate the PacWest to be right there on the same level as the CCA. But they have some good teams over there. So we have us as a conference have a little bit of work to do, but I think we'll get there.
And September 10th, home opener against Cal State San Bernardino. Last year was 4-2, was it? Or
we equalized 1-1. Was it against them? Correct. Yeah. So it was a
very close one out on the way.
Even match. Match. So no, they're a good side. It'll be good. I mean, Josh has them playing over there, and they got some good players. So.
Which of the two up by Monterey is going to be the tougher one, Monterey or East Bay?
I think they're both going to be different in a sense, right? And then we're on the road for they're two completely different places that we have to play. So I think it's going to be, they're both going to be tough matches, So the first one, getting up there and getting your feet wet, and then the second one, you play your second game, and in a matter of 48 hours, it makes it tough. So, but it'll be a good road trip for us. So we'll really kind of have hopefully a lot of things ironed out by then, and really be able to put forth our best foot, and then see where we land.
Then we get into the PacWest action after Merced. So it's October the 4th as Jessup shows up, an old GSAC foe. What other games are you looking forward to as you get to go to Hawaii for the first time as a PacWest member? And then could it be, dare we put it out into existence, that the final game of the year, as we head towards November, Menlo, Vanguard at the VU soccer field to close out the regular season. Could that be a playoff or title bout in the cards?
Yeah, that'll be interesting to say. You know, I mean, listen, we opened up with Jessup, and you know, years ago Jessup was just kind of hanging on, and now they, you know, I think they were a 7th place finish last year, and he's done a great job with them up there. So I think every single game is going to be a grind. You know, I mean, there's no easy games in the PacWest, and I think you know, in order for you to even make the playoffs, you have to just have some of these swing games kind of go your way. And if they don't, then you know, you lose some crucial points. You know, for us last year, we lost a lot of crucial points. You know, at home, and we were great on the road. And you know, if we were able to take care of business at home last year, and you know, we would have been looking at possibly, you know, a PacWest conference championship. You know, so we didn't. You know, we dropped some points against Chaminade, we dropped some points against Westmont, where I thought we were the better team.
The Hilo game was
the Hilo game was a great game, and we ended up, you know, squeaking that out 2-0. But you know, that's a good side as well. So I think, you know, like I talked about, like some of these games they're momentum shifters. You know, I mean, you can squeak out a good game against a Hilo at 2-0, which is a very good, you know, team, and then we turn around and play Chaminade, we tie 1-1. You know, and there are two different teams in the standings, but if you look past someone, you're gonna lose some crucial points, and that's really gonna hurt you down the stretch. It'll be interesting this year. I think there's gonna be some dark horses that are gonna step up and get some results, and there's gonna be some guys that are gonna supposedly do well and then fall off, and I just hope we're not one of them. You know, I think my staff and you know, the players that we have coming in, we're going to compete, you know, on any given day. But at the end of the day, it's still soccer, and things can go your way or things can't go your way. So it's you know, it's all, I feel it's all God's plan, and hopefully we're at the upper end of all that stuff. So super excited.
Briefly, as we start to wrap this up, talk a little bit about your coaching staff, because it's not super changed, but you did promote Chuy, and you got one new guy that I know kind of well. So talk a little bit about your coaching staff.
You know, I think we have a well-rounded coaching staff. Obviously, congratulations to Coach Chuy, you know, for getting promoted to obviously associate coach. He's done a fabulous job here. He's my right-hand man. He's here for the program. He's an alum. You know, he loves it here. He just went out and got his UAFB license, so you know, soccer knowledge. He's very good at it. So I think with him and I at that tandem, it's at a high level. We brought in, obviously, a couple of assistants. We brought in Alex Figueroa, Figgy. So he was with Cal Poly Slow for a year, and he was over at Eastern New Mexico, and then so he jumped on back. He's another alumni, jumped back on board with us. Super excited to have him. And then Joel Smith, who's obviously an All-American soccer player, you know, coaches at a local club here as well, who's got some very, very good knowledge, being on a youth national team back when he was in his playing days. He really rounds us out very, very well. And then obviously we have Ludo coming back as a goalkeeper coach, who I think he's one of the top goalkeeper coaches around. Was with Angel City FC for the last year, but he's phenomenal. So he'll help out our goalkeepers with Aiden Hay and all these other guys to really be at the top of their level coming into the season.
We're a program that historically over the past 3-4 years has been one of the better defensive teams.
Absolutely.
Everybody else is on notice. You're not scoring a whole ton. So, Coach, what would success look like for you and the team in 2025?
We're just looking to get in the playoffs. Because if you get in the playoffs, then you have a chance. If you don't make the playoffs, you don't have a chance. So to us, our ultimate goal this year is to make the playoffs. And if there's a conference championship that comes in there towards the end, then so be it. But we're just looking to try to get the points, try to get in the playoffs, and see where the chips lie. So that's the most important thing for us this year.
Truer words have not been said. So, thank you very much, Coach, for spending some time with us. Hopefully you all can spend some time with us out on the VU soccer field as well. Again, September the 10th, Cal State San Bernardino's in here. A couple of our home games before October 4th and the PacWest League action gets going. Check online, VanguardLions.com for further information. Coach, best of luck. We'll hopefully see you with some playoff-bound excitement as we get towards the end of the season.
Absolutely, thank you.